What's up, dudes and dudettes? Welcome to Everybody Podcasts. And this is a little segment we like to call Everybody's TUF, where we take a look at The Ultimate Fighter, UFC's take on a reality TV show. I'm joined, as always, my buddy Cody over here.
What up?
We're doing a rewatch of right now. Obviously, we're on season 1, looking at episode 4.
Second fight of the season, right?
Yep. Well, at least they're setting up the second fight, anyways.
No, they had the second fight. Diego Sanchez versus
right.
Alex Karalexis.
That's right. And Diego won the fight. Was it first round or second round?
First round, rear naked choke.
Naked choke.
He just controlled the whole fight.
Yeah, dude.
Took him right down on the ground and then just, took his time to get into position and sunk a rear naked choke.
Yeah, definitely a really dominant performance by Diego Sanchez. That dude's a weird fella, huh?
Yeah, he is so strange. Like I actually wrote down, I was like, of course he wears whitey tighties.
Yeah,
like of course that's what his underwear choice is.
That's one of the things that I was gonna mention too.
But yeah, he's such a strange guy. He said that Karalexis, like I'm tired of hearing your potty mouth.
Your potty mouth, dude.
He's all this dirty language. I just want him gone.
He's always saying the 4-letter word every other word. The thing that got me was the little speech he gave when they said that they were gonna fight.
Yeah, and what Alex Karalexis just goes,
laughs at him.
That's the first full sentence I've heard you say.
Yeah, and he just laughs at him. But dude, I'm right there with that Alex guy. I was laughing too because that was not very intimidating at all.
Yeah, well, he's such a weird, awkward guy.
Yeah,
he's definitely a character,
But he knows how to fight. So.
Yeah, dude, he's a fucking savage.
So whatever. And so this episode, to start off the episode, things got a little weird with because Chuck Liddell had to give up one of his teammates because the teams were uneven.
Yeah, and he was not fucking happy about it.
Yeah, he was not happy.
He's like, I thought if I won, I wouldn't have to do any of this shit. But apparently, since I'm winning, I have to give up a teammate or a team now, a team member.
You know what that was, though? That was the UFC not planning their show very well.
I don't know. I don't think they didn't plan the show very well. I think that was just something that they would. I think it was just like a wrench that they were throwing into the whole thing. They were just like, you know what? Let's not make this easy for everybody. It's just like it's like a twist.
Yeah, which reality shows do that.
Yeah,
a lot.
Say like that's something like Big Brother would do or something. You know what I mean? Like they would just kind of throw like a little twist at you, like, oh, you guys think that you're all teammates now? Well, guess what? Now you got to give up somebody.
Yeah,
it's just another one of those. It's just a reality TV show thing to do, really.
Yep. And then we got even another twist, if you want to call it that. The challenge, the winner got to pick who fought instead of the losers.
Right.
And that was a twist that backfired on Couture's team because they were like, we're going to get Chris Lieben to lose this challenge so he can pick Josh Koscheck because they felt Koscheck is one of the supreme athletes on Liddell's team. So they wanted Lieben to take him out early.
Yeah, and Lieben just has his sights set on fighting Koscheck.
Yeah, dude.
He's just like, I'm going to fucking fight this guy. There is no if we fight. They're just... Between those two, it's just like, we're gonna fucking fight. And he took the title. After they lost, he talked shit.
Yeah,
he was trying. He was like, no, I'm getting you to fucking pick me. Me as the fucking fight.
You're gonna pick me? You're gonna pick me, Koscheck?
Mm-hmm. And I thought that was great. I mean, it's great. Lieben seems to be able to get in people's heads.
Yeah, dude.
I know, he's become like a character on the show. I get different than Diego Sanchez is. He's become like this fucking an antagonist for the show,
absolutely. Oh yeah.
But he seems to be able to really just get in people's heads and just rub people the wrong way in the way that he wants to too,
Yeah. And he doesn't really ever stop with it. It's
no.
like he's always that's who he is.
Yeah. That's exactly it. It doesn't seem like an act that he's putting on. It just seems like that's the person that he is just this antagonistic figure,
And he's not afraid to say anything to anybody.
including his own teammates, which was a problem earlier on.
Yeah.
Because he'd already fought Mike Swick at one point.
Yep.
And he was just running his mouth to Mike Swick, and everybody's just like, "We are on the same team. Like, why are you doing this? Like,
don't
this
piss off your teammate, dude."
Yeah, there's a whole other fucking team for you to talk shit to. There's no reason for you to be talking shit to this guy that you're supposed to be working with.
Yeah, there's times that I like Chris Lieben. There's times that I hate him. That was definitely one of the times where I hated him.
He gets like a bit of the attitude like it's everybody else's fault when they lose and shit.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely get that.
It wasn't so much this episode, but that one team challenge that they did where him and Nate Quarry fucked up the challenge. There's no other way to look at it. But then when it was all done, he's like, "I feel like I might end up getting kicked out because my team sucks." And it's like, no, you kind of fucked that one up. Like, that was definitely not your team's fault. That was you and Nate Quarry fucked up. Granted, you're fighters. You're not supposed to know how to saw logs. It's not really your job, but still, you can't just get mad at everybody else for it. Like, you guys fucked up.
That's another thing in this episode. With this challenge, they had to, like, throw a medicine ball over some shit. They had to hit targets, and then they had to throw it over walls, and then they had to push it through, like, a little tunnel net thingy. And,
dude, Nate Quarry's a badass, man.
Yeah,
he was like fucking tossing that medicine ball over the wall
and then catching it.
And like every one of them throwing it over the wall and then running to the other side and catching it like every fucking time.
Yeah, nobody else was doing it. They were just throwing it over the wall and then running around and picking it up and doing it again.
And Koscheck, he kicked that fucking challenge's ass.
Yeah,
like, he was the first. He was like so far. He was so far ahead of everybody from the beginning that it didn't even look like he was trying. Like, when he was throwing the medicine balls over the wall, he looked like he was barely jogging. Like, he was practically walking through the challenge because he was already so far ahead of everybody at that point,
So far ahead of everybody. I don't get why Sanchez, like, stopped in the middle of the ropes just to fix his fucking knee pads. Like, just go, man. Just go.
I thought for a second that he got fucking hung up. But, yeah, he just, like, fixed both of his knee pads and then kept going. But it was almost like... I feel like he did it just because he didn't feel like he really needed to rush himself.
Yeah, but and back to what you said about Chris Lieben talking about how, like, it's not our job to do this. We're fighters, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, he's like, I didn't come here to throw medicine balls.
Yeah, same thing in this episode. It's like, we're fighters, man. We're not trained to throw medicine balls and shit. Which is very true. I get where he's coming from, but... It's
the challenge, man.
Yeah,
it's a reality
dude.
TV show.
It's a reality TV show.
I like I said from the beginning, I like watching the challenges. I started watching The Ultimate Fighter because I was a fan of reality TV, and that's just an aspect of reality TV that I enjoy is watching people do these kind of goofy challenges,
Yeah,
and it carries right over for the next few seasons.
Yeah, and it's actually a pretty great feeling when the guy you want to win wins.
Yeah,
and you're like, fuck yeah, dude. I got your back.
What do you think of, like, Josh Koscheck and Diego Sanchez and all, like, the Team Liddell?
They're definitely dominant.
Yeah,
He's got the strongest guys, dude.
For sure. Like, it's like not even a question. Like,
and
nonstop,
like,
just beating everybody.
Every single one of those guys, all they care about is winning. They want to win. And it kind of seems like Couture's team is just, I don't want to say lazy, but I'm going to say lazy.
I would say
I don't know if they want it enough.
Corey is definitely not lazy.
Yeah, he seems like
he's the standout of Couture's team, I think. He's the one that's like I mean, he would be I've seen this already twice, this whole season twice, so if this was the first time watching the season and not knowing what the results were going to be, Nate Quarry would be my pick for the winner. Because he just seems to be, like, in supreme shape. He's got, like, the mental game for it, Like, he doesn't seem to be able to mentally break easily, And he's in great shape, and he would be the one that I would say you're going to be the winner of this competition.
So, if Couture's, are they going to keep, like, having to give Couture's team people?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not the first time it happens.
That fucking sucks,
I don't want to ruin everything for you, but it's definitely not the first time that it happens.
No, I kind of figured that was going to happen because I was like, there's no other way to keep the teams even unless Couture's team wins the next couple challenges or something.
Yeah, and it would have gone the same way if KOTOR's team kept winning. Then they would have had to give somebody up too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just how it is. I feel like this is the only season where they make them do that. I think in the next seasons, I don't think they make them trade teammates anymore. But yeah, it's something that keeps carrying over this season. Which it's like, I mean, clearly Liddell picked the best team.
Yeah, dude.
It's
absolutely.
so clear, especially when you just know all those fighters and you know what their future is. You're like, oh yeah, he definitely picked the best team because Josh Koscheck, big fucking. Became like a hugely popular fighter. Fucking Kenny Florian, he's not a fighter anymore, but he's still like a popular commentator. Who else? I just drew a blank. Diego Sanchez, obviously.
Yeah, Chris
obviously. Chris Lieben's on KOTOR.
Oh yeah, you're talking about my bad.
Forrest Griffin,
huge
name. So he clearly picked the best fucking team.
Yeah, dude. I wanted to mention it seems like Randy Couture does not want to be there, man.
You don't
like
think so?
He doesn't. It seems like he doesn't want to do the reality show. I get that vibe from him. He says as little as possible, just trying to get by. Maybe get the camera off from him or something.
I don't know if it's necessarily that he doesn't want to be there as much as just I think that's just who he is. He was never a big talker,
Yeah,
I've
never seen any of his interviews or anything. I've just seen the guy fight.
He's just always been I think they called him the natural, but he's just always been he's that respectful kind of fighter. You know what I mean? Like a really good depiction of what like a martial artist should be. Whereas how can I describe it? Like he's just he's just a respectful guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know, I just think that that's just who he is. It's not that I don't think it's that he doesn't want to be there. I think he's fine with being there. He actually keeps coming back for the later seasons.
Okay.
Or for the next few seasons until the UFC cut ties with him at one point over a video game. But
what was that about?
He I think it was over the video game cuz before EA took over the UFC games, the UFC games were made by THQ. The first 3, the Undisputed games, I think is what they called them.
Yeah, those were great.
Yeah, they were made by THQ, but then EA wanted to make their own mixed martial arts game. So they just came out with EA Sports MMA. And KOTOR signed a deal with them to be in that game instead of the UFC game. So then the UFC just cut all ties with him.
Wow.
Yeah, they were not happy about him doing that. I don't think he had permission to do it or anything. I think he just did it. And they were not very happy about it, and they cut all ties with him at that point.
Wow, you think his lawyer would have caught that one?
Well, I don't think what he did was illegal.
Oh, okay.
I think it was just frowned upon, you know what I mean? I don't think, as far as I know, I haven't looked into it in a long time. Maybe there was a legal battle over it, but I don't think what he did was illegal. I think it was just frowned upon. Like the UFC was just like, you can do that, but fuck you for doing it,
Yeah. And they have the right to terminate you whenever they want, so.
Yeah, and I think he'd already retired at this point, too. I don't think he was planning on fighting anymore when this happened.
Yeah.
So I don't think he really felt any kind of loyalty with the UFC at that point. He was like, I'm never going to fight for you again because I'm never going to fight again, so fuck it.
How do you feel about Liddell as a coach?
I mean, I think that KOTOR seems like the better coach, honestly. As far as actually coaching, you know
feel
what
like
I mean?
He has more knowledge in fighting, maybe.
It's not just that there's more knowledge. I think there's a difference between the greatest fighter in the world isn't necessarily going to make the greatest coach in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I feel about Liddell. I feel like he's probably a better fighter than he is a coach. Whereas Randy Couture, I think he's one of those guys that does translate over to being a really great coach over as well as a really great fighter. But at the same time, you got to assume Liddell is bringing in his coaches too. It's not like he's just out there being giving them shitty. But the thing is, what the fuck do I know? Because he keeps winning.
Yeah,
his guys keep winning. So if it's him or not, it's somebody's fucking coaching these kids, right? You know what I mean?
Do these fighters have a professional fighting background, or were these fighters just picked out of the gym?
They all had to have a record.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Maybe not for the first season, but I'm pretty sure for all of them they had to have at least a professional fighting record.
Okay. 'Cause I wanted to ask that question last week too, and it just came to my mind now because
Alex Karalexis even says he'd only been training for a year and a half at that point.
Yep.
And he kind of said, like, I don't have any wrestling. After the fight was over, he's like, he didn't say it outright, but he was like, if you don't know every aspect of this sport, you're gonna get beat. Which to me, it was him saying, I don't know that much about wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm a striker.
Wasn't it the same thing with that? Fuck. Yeah, I can't remember.
Are you talking about what season are you talking about?
This one that we're talking about. Like he only had like a year and a half of training, and he's already on The Ultimate Fighter. It wasn't that Alex guy. There was somebody else.
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't remember.
I can't fucking remember.
I don't know, because there's so many guys. There's guys in that season that's like, because there's those standout guys like Koscheck and Florian and Sanchez and Griffin, like that obviously became some of the best at the time that they were fighting, But then there's a couple of guys like fucking the Alex guy that got switched from Liddell's team over to Couture.
Yeah.
And that first guy that got kicked out, the Jason Thatcher, it's like they're nobodies.
And
you know what I mean? Like we don't know who they are. We don't know where they go.
The guy that Bobby Southworth beat.
Loden Singade?
Yeah, he was only training for a little bit too, right? Before he came on TUF.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
I think was it this episode? I'm pretty sure it was this episode. Bobby Southworth was bragging about, because him and Diego were talking about when Bobby knocked out Loden, and was it Mike Swick or somebody?
Yeah.
Was just like, yeah, keep talking, Bobby. You knocked out a guy who has only been training for a year. And you outweighed by 20 pounds or some shit.
Yeah, I remember him saying that part. He's like, you outweighed him by 30 pounds, and you're bragging about it, about knocking him out. I do remember that. I mean, yeah, it's possible.
I'm pretty sure he was the other guy that trained for a little bit.
And the thing is, back then, it was still MMA was still the Wild West.
Yeah,
like it was that. This season is what made MMA popular. This season of this reality TV show is what made MMA blow up at that point. And before that, it was really like an underground, like almost a counterculture type thing.
Yeah.
And anybody could do it. Like me and you could have fucking probably gotten a professional MMA fight back then. Like with no training and shit, we would probably gotten our fucking asses kicked, but
oh yeah.
It would have I don't even know if they had amateur records back then. I don't know if amateur MMA was even a thing back then.
Everything was just professional right away.
Yeah, like I think it was
right
just you could just go right in and do it and probably get the shit kicked out of you if you didn't know what you were doing, but it's just it wasn't what it is now,
What year did this come out again? 2005?
4 or 5.
Okay. Yeah, that was because MMA was basically nothing in the 90s.
Yeah, it had been around for about 10 years at that point. But, I mean, for a sport, 10 years is fucking young, man. I mean, people have been playing football for a fucking 100 years, Basketball, baseball, that shit's been around for fucking a century.
Which is
this
crazy.
Sport's been around for 30 years now.
Yeah, and it's like super, super popular nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody watches it now.
Yeah. Which is great. It's great for the sport, man. Got to give credit to the Fertitta brothers and Dana White.
Absolutely.
Those guys have fucking done so much for that sport.
So, are you happy that Diego Sanchez won this bout?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely somebody that you want to keep around. It's for reality TV purposes.
Yeah. Because he's the weird guy. He's the weird guy in the family.
Yeah, he's the one that you want to keep around and keep an eye on because he's just funny. He's just funny to watch. I was thinking when I was watching this episode, like, I'm not that surprised that he got sucked into the whole spiritual guru thing that he's gotten involved in lately. It's like, I get it. I get how that happened.
Yeah, dude. That's what, because, like, I haven't watched this shit in, like, forever. Like, forever. So when I watched it again, I was like, okay, so Diego Sanchez has always been weird. Because I only remember seeing Sanchez, like, I didn't start watching UFC until, like, 2016.
Right.
So, like, when I seen Sanchez, he was weird then, just like he was weird now.
Yeah, he's always been
And
weird.
I was just like, has he always been like that? And then when I started doing this rewatch, I was like, oh yeah, he has always been this way.
Yeah, he really hasn't changed much.
Hasn't changed at all.
That's just who he is, though.
Good for
It's
him,
why,
though, man. He's staying real to the person he is.
And it's probably why he was so good, too. You know, he's got a different mind.
Yeah,
And
and he's calm. He's super calm.
Yeah, and I think that that's really great for jiu-jitsu. Like, having that kind of out there strange mentality is great for jiu-jitsu, because some of the moves that jiu-jitsu guys pull off and shit is stuff that you watch and be like, I wouldn't have, like, who sits around and just thinks about an arm bar?
Yeah, right?
Or a fucking ankle lock. Like, who just comes up with that shit? Or, like, the weird kind of, like boa constrictor type fucking chokes that they can do and shit.
Or like a twister.
Know?
Like,
yeah.
Look at a twister, man.
Yeah, who the fuck? I mean, Eddie Bravo, I think, invented that one. And it's like...
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's just, Eddie Bravo's another person who's just like an out there thinker. Like, he's the type of person that would come up with something like a twister. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that kind of strange mentality that I think comes with jiu-jitsu.
What are some... Because, like, I can't really think... What are some leg submissions? Because I can't really think of
I mean,
too
just
many...
heel hook, knee bar,
That's all I can think of.
ankle lock.
Ankle lock, yep, that's true.
I don't know. I don't know jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, neither do I.
I'll just call them all leg locks. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't tell you what any of. I know those names, but I couldn't tell you what they look like. I just would call it a leg lock.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm curious about that shit because you don't see very many leg submissions, really.
No,
so
well,
I was just curious to how many options they actually have.
In MMA, you don't see the leg submissions as much because when you're going to submit somebody with your leg or with their leg, you leave yourself open. You leave your face open to get punched.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
nobody wants that.
Yeah, you'll see guys kind of go for the leg locks in MMA a lot now, and then they just start getting punched in the face because they have to wrap up the leg with their legs and hold on to it with their fucking arm. And now you're on this dude's bottom half. Now his entire top half is completely free. Both of his hands are free, and you're not able to protect your face because you're holding on to his legs.
Yeah.
Because you can't really pull off a leg lock with one arm and protect yourself with the other. Like you're just leaving your face fucking open to get punched.
Yep, seems like a really good way to escape that fucking submission.
Just start punching the dude in the face and make him fucking let go.
TKO or a knockout, probably a knockout. If you're punching straight down on somebody. I can see that.
Yeah,
we've seen it plenty of times.
I like watching jiu-jitsu a lot. I don't know if you've ever watched a jiu-jitsu match.
I watch Submission Underground whenever it's on. They got one on today, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's today?
I have no idea.
Are they doing that tag team match today?
I'm not sure.
Which I think it's fucking cool that they started doing tag team wrestling on Submission Underground.
Isn't that
I think that's fucking awesome.
That's crazy, dude.
Good for Chael, man. That guy.
Yeah, right.
That guy is the shit.
I like listening to that guy talk. He seems very he's very knowledgeable. I like it.
He's knowledgeable, and I don't know if I'm using this term correctly, but he's like a contrarian. Like whatever the popular opinion is, he'll swing the opposite way just to be the guy that's saying the opposite. You know what I mean?
I do that sometimes, I guess.
But that's why I like him.
I gotta be able to back up why.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't back up why, then I'm probably going with the popular one because you usually know why.
And the thing with Chael is sometimes he will say shit that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
he'll go on. I couldn't give you an example right now, but he'll go on and you'll listen to him and be like, man, he is just talking out of his ass right now. He just needs to make a video and he's just talking to hear himself talk at this point.
Yeah, dude. And usually Submission Underground, he's usually the only commentator, right? It's just him sitting there, and then you get the fights there's the fight, him talking, fight, him talking. And he talks about everything, not just the match.
I mean, he's a really smart guy. Really, really, he's a legend of the sport.
Absolutely.
Sure. And a legend on the mic, man. He's got some of the fucking... I was watching some of his press conference... some of his press conferences the other day, and he is just so fucking funny.
Yeah.
He's just such a fucking funny guy.
And he says whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, like I've never lost a round. I've never lost a fight. What does he say? I've never lost a fight. I've never lost a round. I've never even lost a single minute of a fight. And then you look at his record and it's like fucking he's got like 10 losses.
Yeah, right. Fucking, he's a funny guy.
Yeah, I love him. He's like the poster child for how you should promote a fight.
Yeah, right. He was the best shit talker in the game.
I mean, I think that's where Colby Covington gets all of his personality from, you know? I mean, obviously, Chael didn't go for the political side of it, but yeah. I think that's where I would have to say Chael was a huge influence on the way that Colby Covington acts now.
Yeah.
And same thing with Sean O'Malley. Exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's all the same. Because, I mean, that's exactly what Sean O'Malley did. Like, I haven't lost a fight. I'm undefeated. That's the exact same shit that Chael used to say. But he had at one point he had fucking 4 losses in a row, and he was still going around saying, "I'm undefeated. Nobody's ever beat me. I've never lost a fight. I've never lost a minute. I've never lost a round."
Fucking love it, dude.
It's great.
I love it. So, what would you rate the episode?
I'll just give it a 4. I didn't really think about a rating for this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4 as well because I like seeing finishes. I'm glad Diego choked him out.
Yeah, I think
he got that $5,000.
They should be getting a little bit more than $5,000 if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I'll definitely give it a 4. I can't wait for next week. We'll see what happens. This has been Everybody's Tough. We'll catch you guys later.
Peace.
Peace.